I wake up at 5 a.m. and just put on the TV. Just like there's always something. So either you miss the event you missed prior or an early morning event that is starting. So the Olympics have just made me to watch TV all day, and that's how interesting it has been. Speaking of interesting, let me give you what she's fresh from the
Okay, before you give this hot gist, let me just do something. You're in the locker room. In case you didn't get it the first time, you're in the locker room. Brought to you by Visa. All right, Tega, go ahead.
that lake that the
Yes, the mayor was going to jump in and swim around. Oh, she did.
they found out that it is polluted.
Ah,
And so
mayor.
to clean that canal. So it turns out that every time there's heavy rainfall in Paris, when there's a lot of pollution because the E. coli and
Right.
all just gets back into the water. So they have actually postponed 2 events
Wow.
because the water is polluted. So after spending all that money and the mayor getting baptized in that
In the field.
in the field. No, then I think they cleaned it for a day.
Oh my days.
Because the thing is now, oh God, it's just like the Olympics just keeps delaying.
Drama.
So we have more gists coming out from the Olympics. So before we go into any more gists, Zibby, tell us, how can we be part of the locker room this morning?
All right, we're streaming live on our YouTube channel, Smooth981. So you can catch the live stream, post a comment, and of course, you can also send your messages to us via WhatsApp 0809 440 981, or just tweet or X at Smooth981. Yes, indeed, we can. Exactly. All right. Super Falcons Olympic hopes in tatters after 1-0 loss to Spain. Nigerian boxer Cynthia Ogunshemilore fails drug test out of Olympics. Hi, Cynthia. Cindy. Hamilton wins Belgian GP after Russell disqualified. Under fire, Canada stunned France. US, Spain advanced to quarters. AC Milan edge Man City and Arsenal beat Man United in the United States. Nadal sets up Djokovic clash in Paris. Chelsea 1-4 to Celtics. Enzo Maresca defends confused players after preseason friendly trashing. Wow. Yeah. And no, I am loyal. Till I'm like, okay, you know what? This sick is shameful. It's time to.
You're not loyal. All right, we'll get to your story, but let's start from home first. Let's start from home and all the heartbreaks.
Nigeria Super Falcons are condemned to beat Japan in their final game, final group game that is, and expect a favorable result in other games to stand a chance of qualifying to the next stage as one of the best losers in the football event in the ongoing Olympics in Paris.
Yes. So yesterday, Nigeria faced the world champions, Spain. And truth be told, Nigeria actually fared better than I thought they would. Coming into this tournament, with the team, I thought that Nigeria would absolutely not get anything from was Spain. So I don't think I was disappointed in the result. I think I was a little impressed with their defense. The way they were able to stay alive and only concede one goal against Spain. Be that as is may, if Nigeria had set up against Brazil the way they set up against Spain yesterday, I think we could have gotten at least a point in that Brazil game. And this is what I was saying about the Brazil game. It was the game that we had to win. It was the game that we had to get something out of because of all the teams in the group. But Brazil looked like the lowest fruit to
Right.
crop, you know. And then we lost there. And it was one moment of lack of concentration in defense and we considered the goal. And then we had our own chances that we didn't take advantage of. So again, all this it still comes down to us. We put ourselves in this situation. Against Spain, I did not expect anything. But so I was a little impressed, like I said, about their defense. But the goal that eventually beat Chamaka again, you can argue whether Alexia Putellas meant it or not. The point is, it was a cross come shot and it hit the back of the net again. So at this point in time, Ina was off her line. And she had made some great saves, some brilliant saves. In fact, there's one save that I agree with the commentator was the save of the tournament. Even if the tournament has not gone far. You say make that kind of save and then you concede that kind of goal. Just like why are you giving and taking? What the Chiamaka give it and Chiamaka take it away? It was disappointing the way they considered, but given that I did not expect much from the girls in the first place, I don't know what to say. Most of the girls, at least against Spain. Now we get to face Japan. Now Japan, Japan's work rate is what is interesting because yesterday against Brazil, they were losing till the 85th minute. They were losing. They got a penalty towards the end of the first half of their match. The goalkeeper saved that penalty. Then they considered a goal from Brazil, and Brazil was bullying them physically because they're just bigger and Japanese girls are smaller. They were bullying them. But towards the last 10 minutes of the match, the Japanese girls just started running rings around these tall girls. It was almost like, you know how you're trying to catch your little nephew that's running? You know how fast these people can run?
Yeah, catching in and out.
That's exactly how the Japanese girls were running rings around the Brazilian girls. And they're taking off matter who was making the passes and all. Because, the match was almost coming to an end. And they scored 2 goals to win that match. They came from behind in the last 7 minutes of that match. Scored 2 goals, won the match. So they go on 3 points. So Brazil on 3 points, Japan on 3 points, and Spain on 6. Spain has already qualified. So Brazil meets Spain, and I am hoping that in Spain's bid, to top the group, they will not give anything away. They'll try to play the match to win. So Nigeria has to absolutely win against Japan. The question is, can they? And my answer is, I'm not sure. So that's where we are with the Super Falcons of Nigeria.
All right. Well, at least they made it there. Unlike some. Nigerian boxer Cynthia Ogunsemilore has been disqualified from the Paris Olympics women's boxing tournament after testing positive for a banned substance.
Oh, yes. So they found out that she tested positive for and what they found that sample was something that masked usually. So when you take a band sometimes you use something else to mask it.
Right. So it was the mask they found. So they haven't even found the greater culprits.
Yeah. There was something, and she's come out to say that she hadn't taken anything. She's saying that she's innocent and she wants them to take another sample. But, there's some things that you take that disappear after a certain number of hours. So telling them to come and take another sample may be, it may not be the best defense. So want to wait to find out how she will defend it. So she does have the opportunity to defend her case that she didn't take anything. But yeah, that's what the issue is now. They released the report. They said that's what they found, and based on that, she's been disqualified. So
but is it possible that this masked substance could also be a byproduct of something that's not bad?
Exactly. So that's the proof that she's going to bring. Okay. Yeah. So she's going to have to bring a proof that look, okay, this is what you found. These are the things. She's going to have to check what she took, which is why, as an athlete, as a professional athlete, they tell you don't buy over the counter anything. You don't eat anyway. You don't eat anyhow. Which is why I cannot be an athlete.
Let's say you eat anyhow, Tega.
Oh yes, I eat. I want to flash it. I like food. I eat anyhow. So you don't want to. Those are things as an athlete you have to be disciplined about and you have to be knowledgeable about. And so she has a defense. So the question is, can she put it together and then win her case?
When is her next game or her first game? Will she have her first fight? Will she have enough time? So it's just to clear her name at this point.
At this point, the most important thing is to clear your name first.
Right.
Competing in the Olympics is a little far. Let's just clear the name first. And let's see how we can get her out of it. But that's where she is now. So she has a defense. Let's see what she comes up with. And then we'll take it from there. But it's already tough for Nigeria at the Olympics. Table tennis, we are out. We struggled. The men lost the day before yesterday. And then we felt we had lost yesterday. And I'm just like, what did we do to deserve all this? At the same time, the Super Falcons were losing.
Wow.
But today, the Tigresses start their journey. And it's a very tough one.
Who are they playing?
Australia.
Well, hopefully the girls have spent less time on social media and practicing on the court, though.
Social media has nothing. I've spent as much time on social media as the American basketball people. Did you see what they did? Nicola Jokic couldn't believe it. I was like, I'm MVP now. Look at all the buckets I'm making. They're like, yeah, but there's just one of you, and there's several of us. The USA, they did it very poorly. They allowed Serbia to feel funky. Serbia waiting, first bucket, second bucket, third bucket. Yes, was like, okay, I think we've given you enough warm-up. And then they sent in the best. So for some reason, Kevin Durant knows how to play on the US men's basketball team. He may struggle with the Phoenix Suns. He may struggle with any other team. But he knows how to play with other stars. So I think that's the thing. Kevin Durant is as good as the team he plays on. So when he was playing with the Golden State Warriors and he won those championships, it's because he was playing with a championship team. You now put him to be the star on that team, he will struggle.
Right.
But
so he's a real team player.
He plays with, he's not just a team player, it has to be a good team. It cannot be any other team. You cannot put him there and say you be
the star man. Yeah.
He's not going to be around. So he knows how to play with other stars. Because on the US men's basketball team, it's like magic. The guy came in, his first buckets were all 3-pointers. He knocked out he was 100% in the first half. It was just like, from 3 points.
Like it's easy. I've been doing this for a few Olympics now.
Like, come on, we saw you in the playoffs. We're not this good. Why are you good here? But yeah, so they have not been on as much social media as the US team. But the US athletes are winning. It's not the social media that's the problem.
What is it? Do we want to look at some messages?
Can we take one? Oh, time. Let's look at some messages from YouTube.
Okay, let's see. LK Aderoba says, I really felt bad for the Falcons yesterday. They defended bravely. Only if Ajibade took her chances. We're still proud of the ladies. Padre Pio says, proud of the girls. We didn't expect them to win, but they defended bravely. Nnadozie was something else. I do hope we win the last match.
Amen.
Kenny Day says, hello, Tega. Nice hairstyle.
Oh, yes.
And Abiodun says, is it weird? I'm just noticing that. Abiodun says, the Super Falcons should at least give us something to cheer about in their last game against Japan. Mediocre performance and better luck next time.
All right.
It's freezing.
What is this place called and outside not cool?
Sorry?
What is the studio called and outside is not?
Maybe the AC is there, not on. Oh, excuse me. We can't. It's central. Oh my days. Like my nose is runny already. It's crazy. Dang. This is what it must look like to feel like to live in Russia. Okay. You're still in the locker room on Smooth 98.1. It's Tega and Zibby.
I'm still here. And remember we said to you, the locker room was brought to you by Visa. And Visa are the official technology payment partner of the Olympics. So let's talk about Visa on the global stage with championing inclusivity and culture. And they're doing this through the Olympics, which has been a way to celebrate sports as a global experience, create a good spirit of sportsmanship and national pride. Now, Visa, as a global leader in digital payments, has been connecting the power of sports, music, art, and culture across different markets. Beyond digital payments, Visa has shown a commitment to creating experiences that champion global talents, inclusivity, and the power of small steps. Team Visa is another example of that. I can't wait to see what one of the athletes at Team Visa picks, Toby Amuson, with all the heartbreaks I've been getting from the start of this Olympics. I can't wait for 100 meters hurdles to start. Let's just get one medal. Let me sit and brag.
That's true.
Team Visa is championing the cause and pushing athletes to go out and do their best. So championing inclusivity and culture across the globe. Visa is the proud sponsor of Team Visa of Olympics and Paralympics athletes.
All right, let's go on to the next article. And this one now has to do with the Formula One. Now, Lewis Hamilton emerged as the winner of a dramatic Belgian Grand Prix on Sunday after his Mercedes teammate George Russell, who took the checkered flag, was disqualified when his car was found to be underweight following the race.
That's a gist. So,
you're so happy.
I was so happy because I was so paying there today. All right, so Belgian Grand Prix, fantastic qualifier. Red Bull again still suffering because Max Verstappen had to change his engine power unit, so he took a great penalty, which took him out of the top 10. He started in 11th. I think Sergio Perez qualified in third, so he moved up to second. Leclerc qualified in second, so he moved up to pole. Lewis Hamilton qualified in fourth, so he moved up to third. That was the front three. Race started. See my Lewis. My Lewis Hamilton. The first person he took out was Sergio Perez. He was like, look, brother, you're not ready for this competition. So he overtook Sergio Perez. And then down the road, he now overtook Charles Leclerc. Now remember, before the weekend started, everybody was talking about how McLaren was now competing with Red Bull. So the fight was allegedly supposed to be between McLaren and Red Bull. Mercedes was an outlier, again, because of what they've done at Silverstone. But nobody was really expecting that Mercedes would do what they did. That's how Lewis Hamilton stunned everybody, overtook them and started leading the race. This is how my brother was leading the race. So Mercedes people now gave him a strategy that they said the strategy was to cut off Charles Leclerc from the undercut. But somehow the strategy also managed to leave George Russell out in front. George Russell, who was supposed to be in fifth, out in front. And as George Russell was out in front, he now said, you know what? I can still feel grip in my tires. If I go in now, I will come out behind Max Verstappen and it'll be a struggle for me to get up to the podium places. If I stay out, I may be risking it because my tires are old, but at least I have nothing to lose. So he said that they should think of the one-stop strategy for him, which left him in front. Now, what that meant was that Lewis Hamilton, with his fresher tires, could catch up to George Russell and overtake him. What Mercedes pit wall did not calculate in all of this is that clean air was an advantage yesterday. For instance, when Piastri was in clean air, when he was leading the race, the way he was flying down, he was like, I can't believe that this guy is moving this fast. Why? Because he was in clean air. So for you to now take the race leader and put him behind another car and say he should chase down and get his win from there was kind of putting him at a disadvantage. That's what I thought, me being a Lewis Hamilton fan. That's what a lot of the commentators thought. Them looking at the dirty end that Lewis Hamilton was going to be in. That's how these people started racing. As Lewis Hamilton caught up with George Russell, I thought that they would give the team order, like, George move over, Lewis is faster, and then he can give you a tow so that McLaren will not catch up to you. They didn't do that. They told them to fight for the spot, which means that Lewis Hamilton in the dirty air was supposed to fight George Russell, even if George Russell was on old tires, but George Russell was in clean air. And that track, people always say it's easy to overtake. It's not. There are too many corners, and cars, once they come out of the corners, they're not really fast on the straight. So everybody was struggling. That's how they snatched first position from Lewis Hamilton. And Lewis Hamilton came in second. He finished behind George Russell at the end of the day, was able to defend and finish first. So he also won the race. Lewis Hamilton came in second. Oscar Piastri came in third. And then they are now asked to move. So to move said, when they did the projections, that they thought that Lewis will overtake him, and this is it, and yada yada yada. We are also impressed with George Russell. We are also impressed with Russell. In my mind, I was just like, people have done this to Lewis again. This is 2016 all over again. But then again, George Russell is the one with the contract with you, and Lewis Hamilton is the one leaving. Anyway, Hammer caught up very quickly with them. Turns out that when they went to weigh the cars, George Russell's car was now lighter. 1.5 kg lighter than it should have been. So his car was disqualified, and the win was handed over to the rightful owner. Lewis.
Wow.
I like instant karma.
I know, like served hot.
They all praise George Russell. I was like, no, you guys put him on a better strategy. And someone asked Toto Wolff, how will you now explain to Lewis why you put him on the strategy you put him on? Do you know what Toto Wolff was saying? I really wish we could get 2 winners today. And for yeah, exactly. No, my statement is that before I rolled my eye to the back of my skull, it was all the way back. Only for instant karma to happen. I was so excited. So Lewis has won his 105th race in F1.
Yes, Lewis. Legend. Go, go, go.
Legend. All right, let's take the next story.
Okay. Now, reigning champions Canada got a lifeline at the Paris Games following a 2-1 last gasp win over host France, while Spain and the United States claimed wins to reach the quarterfinals on the second match day of the Olympics women's football on Sunday.
All right, so remember the story about Canada, the spy?
Yes.
So FIFA has come down and taken out, they've deducted 6 points from them automatically, and they banned all those coaches for 1 year.
Wow.
But here's where the problem is. So they deducted 6 points from Canada. Now, Canada won their first match.
-3.
They now won the second match -3. So even with the wins, they have 0 points.
Oh. This is what happens when you play dirty and cheat. Wow. So are we saying the players were completely unaware? I don't know. No, but they might have heard or known.
Somebody else's training so he can tell you what to do, and you say, I was aware. He wasn't aware. Now the players are so
wow. This is sad.
Won their first match. Again, coming from behind.
Nothing to show for it.
Exactly. Nothing to show for it. So they now have to win their third match and hope that they are one of the best losers. Because at the Olympics, one of the best losers.
Yeah.
Maybe they can go through 3 points. Maybe.
So wait, technically, Canada and Nigeria are at the same level right now. Exactly.
Both of them really tough one, but yeah, that's where they are now on 0 points. Despite the impressive comeback wins they've had in both matches. Also the US have been amazing. So the way they destroyed Germany, even I was scared for Germany because Germany are actually a good team, but the way the US destroyed them, they will have self-esteem issues by the end of this tournament. I just want to say kudos to Emma Hayes for putting this team together because USA was so disappointing at the World Cup. And who thought they were just going to go through a period where they're going to struggle. But Emma Hayes comes in and she's giving them that bounce back ability, and they're back to the top of the game. So if you ask me, from all the teams I've watched at the Olympics, it's the US and Spain that look like the teams to beat.
All right. Well, still in football now, Lorenzo Colombo scored 2 first-half goals and Marco Nasti netted the game winner to give AC Milan a 3-2 victory over English Premier League champions Manchester City on Saturday in New York.
Yes, I mean, pre-season friendly games results don't really count, but they count small. And you have to look at the performances, maybe not the figures, but the performances. Again, Erling Haaland coming into a match, scored the first goal, had at least 2 brilliant one-on-one chances that a striker of his caliber should be burying. He missed them again. So you're going to ask, is this season going to be like last season where he missed some easy chances that were available to be scored? I don't know. But it was a tough one watching Manchester City. However, you know that Manchester City you saw is not the best Manchester City you will see. It's just that when you look at some people's performances, you just like they can do better. Again, I was watching the performances of individual players. Jack Grealish is still not the player everybody hyped him to be. I don't know. At this point in time, Aston Villa should give Manchester City change because they sold them the wrong product. But ultimately, yes, looked good for AC Milan, the result. But the performance by the Manchester City players also left a little bit to be desired.
All right. On to the tennis court. Rafael Nadal set up a tantalizing second round contest with old foe Novak Djokovic at Paris 2024 after coming through with his opening Olympic singles match.
Okay. That's an interesting one. So Nadal played his just for they're talking about Nadal having an injury scare, and it's his hamstring. And so if you watch him when he played the doubles with Alcaraz when they won their first match, he had that his thigh heavily strapped. And then his match yesterday against Fukovic, he had also that strapping that just kept coming off during the match. But it was an impressive fight for him to get through that match yesterday, only for them to tell him like, I'm meeting Novak Djokovic next. Now, they used to be great rivals at some point in time, but injuries have taken Rafa Nadal out of this rivalry. So at this point in time, he's going to be surviving against Novak Djokovic. The question is not whether he will lose. The question is why will he lose really poorly, or will he at least put up a fight? That's where I see it from. I don't think this is going to be competitive at all. It's not going to be one of your usual Rafa Nadal, Novak Djokovic matchup we used to have from those years. This is a walking wounded Rafa Nadal against a very fit and very focused Novak Djokovic. It's not a battle.
Oh,
it's a big stamp.
Damn.
Oh yeah, I read the Chelsea story. I tried to avoid it.
We're almost out of time
Read
now.
the Chelsea story.
All right. Chelsea suffered heavy defeat to Celtics in the second preseason game under Enzo Maresca's charge. Now, the Italian said his side were guilty of confusing things on and off the ball, while also insisting that the Blues will be ready for the Premier League opener against Man City on the 18th of August. Wow.
He said they were confusing things. We don't know what they were confusing. I saw the match. They didn't look confused. They could have buried one or two chances. They could have been a little more solid defensively. Sanchez did make a couple of good saves before they considered this 4 goals. So imagine if Sanchez were really as confused as Maresca is trying to make me think he is, then it would have been a completely different kettle of fish. But again, I would say this: it's a friendly. You can't say, okay, based on this friendly, then we are done for Chelsea, or we are done for Manchester United. No. But yeah, it was a bit tough to watch. You know, the chances and the opportunities that were missed by Chelsea, and then they had the penalty. It was a penalty that they used to help their condition. But yeah, it's tough one for us. He should just remember that he's going to be giving press conferences like this. So is he going to always say that they were confusing things? Because the English press are not as kind as the American press. On that note, let's take your messages.
Let's see. Adeni G says that karma, cold water on Team Mercedes was sweet for me. The one-stop strategy was Lewis' initial suggestion in the early period. I'm happy that Lewis deservedly got the win. Justice! And Abiodun says, Tega, give us boxing gists. Nah. Del Boy overcoming the odds against a trainee sleeping Joe Joyce is surely a thing. Let's see. This is Emmanuel, and he says, someone once asked me, why can't Nigeria bid to host the Olympics? My response was the same thing you stated about swimming in Paris. Which swimming pool do they want to use that is extremely clean? They will rent Banana Island pools.
This is not a swimming pool. This is the lake for the triathlon. So
wow. Nadozie coming off her line made that Alexia Putia's goal look like an absolute screamer. She was coming off her line when Alexia was about to take that free kick. I was already shouting, my laptop screen. But unfortunately, all those shouts fell on deaf ears. Tayo says, congrats to Lewis Adekule Hamilton. We never doubted your win, champ. The next time opposition will check their engine before entering the road. Cruz said, Zibby is serving you Canada weather. Larry from the abroad says, Mercedes have now won 3 of the last 4 races, which is actually incredible considering where they were some months ago. That is all the time that we have.
Thank you for sending your messages to WhatsApp. Mohammed, I see your message, but we'll get to it on Friday.
On Wednesday. I understand.
98.1 FM to listen to the locker room. From me, it's bye.
That's it for the locker room, brought to you by Visa. More to come on the Smooth Breakfast.
Yeah.